Well, let's talk about climbing shoes. There goes all my money, huh? So I have personally tried more models than I can count from any type of brand. So Tenaya, Scarpa, La Sportiva, Unparallel, and 510s. So with all of this knowledge on trying many shoes, I can help you guys find your perfect shoe for indoor climbing. Although it'll be impossible since you have to try the shoes. But I can at least recommend to you which shoe is good for indoor bouldering depending on your level. So let's start with beginner shoes. For beginner shoes, honestly, I would just tell you to go for comfort. So that's my number one advice, because you don't want something that will hurt your foot or that is rubbing on top of your toes, on the sides. So you want something that can be comfortable. It'll make a huge difference from rental shoes. So when you pick your shoes, just make sure that you're a bit squeezed into them so it curves a bit in your toes, because they will get bigger, and I would probably say it goes from 0.5 bigger. So if you take 42s, it will probably feel like 42.5 after a couple of sessions. So yeah, ultimately for beginner shoes, you just want them to touch your toes. So at first, make sure that you take them a little bit squeezed. Also, make sure that your heel sticks together. So if you're trying to take your heel off, just make sure that it doesn't, so it doesn't slip out. Because for V3 or V4 levels, sometimes you can see some heel hooks, and you don't want your heel to just come off that easily because you want them to stick into the holes. So my number one pick for beginner shoes would be the Tenaya Tenta, because they have this small rubber on the toe pad. The grip is really good for volumes, and yeah, also the tip of the shoe is really cool for small footholds. So I would say for beginner shoes, these can be really interesting. So honestly, you can just go for any beginner model. Just make sure that it's not too expensive, since they are gonna be your first shoes. Of course, it's not gonna be the perfect fit and the best performance, but you just want like an upgrade from rental shoes. So for intermediate shoes, usually people are motivated by V grades. So they say, oh, I want to climb harder. I want something that is more performance-wise. So for those people who actually want something a bit more aggressive and they want more performance, I usually just go for the Instinct VSR. So these Scarpa models are really cool for a second pair of shoes. So yes, they are a bit aggressive and you have to downsize a little bit at first, but when it molds to your foot, so when they get bigger, they feel pretty comfortable, and it has everything for indoor bouldering, honestly. They are especially known for the toe pad that has these lines that can really stick well for the toe hooks. The tip of the shoe is also amazing. It's really stiff for small footholds, and for overhangs, you're gonna feel like the toe is really pointy, which is really good to hold into the small footholds. But it's also really decent at bending on volumes, so it's a good intermediate for any style of bouldering you want to do indoors. And that's why I always recommend this model for climbers that want a bit more performance in their climbing shoes and that are ready to get something a bit more aggressive. So this is personally my first pick for intermediate climbers, but there's obviously lots of shoes that you can pick. Here are the Mentra from Tenaya that can be super comfortable. The tip can be nice, even though right now it's not really nice. But for indoors, it bends super well. The toe pad is alright, and yeah, super cool shoe. The Squama is also very nice for indoor bouldering. It's great for volumes, the tip holds super well, the toe pad is amazing, and yeah, just a super overall good shoe. These, by the way, can be really cool if you have some fat feet, because it's really wide, so I would recommend to take these ones if you're always feeling a bit squeezed on the sides. So for intermediate shoes, just make sure that you're downsizing just a bit, because like I said before, it will grow and you don't want it to be like flat, so you always want to be a bit bent, so it'll just mold better into your foot, and it's just gonna have no air into the sides of your shoe underneath and no bubble for the heel hook. So yeah, just make sure you're downsizing, but of course not as much as Adam Ondra, just be reasonable about it. And I would say that when you're looking for intermediate shoes, this is the perfect time to just experiment the most you can. You can exploit the person that is selling shoes to you to try every single intermediate model, because you want to try the most shoes you can to understand which fits better your foot, because honestly, the person who sells you shoes will just recommend what they know, but they do not know how your foot fits into the shoe. So you just have to know by yourself which fits better. Is it rubbing anywhere? Is it too small for you? Is the heel hook too soft? Like, everything just has to be in your opinion, so just make sure you're trying a lot of models and experiment. And now for advanced climbing shoes. This is where I shine because I tried so many models and I know what works best for me, and I think I'll start with that because it'll be easier for you to understand why I like these shoes. So personally, I like a shoe that can be good for any style because I like to do competitions and I don't want to switch shoes in between climbs. So I want a shoe that can be good for slabs, small footholds, toe hooks, heel hooks, and just any style. So personally, these two models are my all-time favorite. So starting off with the Androcomps, just look at the toe pad. It just doesn't end. There's toe pads over here, on the sides, on top of it. Yeah, just for toe hooks, this is amazing. And yeah, the tip is really cool. So when you want to have good support on small footholds. So I wouldn't say they are the best for small footholds, but you can kind of feel the foothold underneath. And that can be really cool because if you want to know that your foot is on the hold, you can have this sensation, but it also has good support, so it's a good intermediate. So for volumes, I wouldn't say that they are the shoes that bend the best, but it's also really cool for volumes. I've never had a problem with these shoes for slabs. Oh no, I just noticed that my resoling is kind of opening when I do this. But it was worth the resoling. And I would say the most critical thing about these shoes that I like is the heel hook. So when I do enormous heel hooks and when I twist my foot, it just stays here. It doesn't really like get off my foot or have this annoying small bubble underneath. So yeah, for the heel hook, I love these shoes, and for competition, I would recommend these for sure. And then the Dragos, which is an obvious contestant because these are good for any styles. You have this pointy toe that's incredible for small footholds, but it's also pretty sensitive when it comes to standing on the foothold. You feel that you're on the foothold, so it's not too stiff. For volumes, yeah, nothing to say. You probably know that these shoes are probably the best for slabs, so really cool for volumes. The toe pad, it doesn't have as much toe pad as the Androcomps, since the Androcomps probably go until here, but you usually just use this part of the toe pad, so I have no complaints. And the heel hook actually stays together, so if I use this Velcro and really tie them up, yeah, it just doesn't go away. For competitions, this is also pretty much the best you can have in the market, in my opinion. The Dragos XT are also pretty cool, so pretty similar to the Dragos, insane for slabs. The toes is incredible. I would say that the heel hook sticks even better because of this friction that they added. So yeah, this is insanely cool. It sticks super well into slopers. The only thing is that the toe pad, you're gonna have this second Velcro, so unless you're really good at toe hooks, yeah, this can probably be a problem if you want to put a big toe hook. So another cool advanced shoe that can be a nice intermediate for indoor climbing is the Solution Comps. So these have a very pointy toe and it bends super well on volumes. So this can be used outdoors but also indoors. If you want to try these out, just make sure that you're downsizing a lot because they will get a bit bigger. And my number one tip, if you want to take shoes with some laces on, you don't want to tie them too much because eventually it is gonna break and you're gonna have some ugly thing like this to try to repair it. Another amazing indoor climbing shoe is this one, the Theories, because they are really soft. They're known for that, so especially for slabs and competitions. You also have this amazing toe pad. So yeah, really cool model if you want to do indoor climbing. Just make sure that your main style will be slabs and that your toes are pretty strong because it doesn't have too much support. So you really feel that your toe is on the hold and it kind of hurts sometimes. Same goes for the Futuras because they are really soft. The tip is not great, so you can really feel that the hold is there. It's also like no edge, so you can rotate nicely into the holds. But yeah, like again, this completely ripped off So make sure that it really fits, because if you're really trying to get them too tight, then eventually they will just rip off. So just be careful with that. So these can be nice, but the toe pad is not the best. I would just say that these are cool for slabs, and I would say like any day bouldering, since these are pretty comfortable. If you have the chance to try the Unparallels, these can be really cool too. Really cool shoes for indoors. They bend super well. Not my favorite for the small footholds, since this is pretty rounded, but other than that, the fit is really cool. I also tried the TN Pros that are probably one of my favorite shoes ever, also for competition climbing. It's just that they didn't last too long, so I don't have them right now, but yeah, I'll probably buy them someday. So there's no real answer to what's the best climbing shoes for indoors if you're advanced. It's just that you have to know which fits the best, and if you want to do every style of bouldering, then yeah, these shoes that I recommended are pretty good. But if you want something specific, then you just have to look by yourself which fits better with your foot. And yeah, just try a bunch of models. You'll see eventually what fits the best. And yeah, I hope you learned something in this video. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment what video you want to see next. And well, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.